last week I presented on stage to a group of 100 entrepreneurs live in person. Haven't done one of those in ages. And I just wanted to run you through the basis of the presentation that I did. And I'm just going to walk you through the reason why small business owners don't generate as many leads as they should and what they should do about it. If you don't know who I am, or if you don't know what this podcast is this is called the How to Make Money as a Creator podcast. And my name is Matthew Lakajev. I run a program called 7-Figure Creators, where we're helping about 560 business owners and LinkedIn creators, or small business owners in particular, generate revenue on LinkedIn. And so you can check us out. So last Wednesday, presented at a mastermind for my friends Ben and James. They have it. They run another kind of group program as well to a whole bunch of Australian entrepreneurs. Really, really good day. I did a 90-minute presentation. It took me a couple of days to put the deck together. And it was super fun. And I'm actually releasing like the actual presentation on YouTube. So it might already be up now. You can probably look at it and check it out as well. So it's about an hour and 10 minutes of me running through the presentation. But what I want to talk about is the reason why small businesses don't grow. And I've chatted to like thousands of small business owners. And I'm just going to give it to you straight. No bullshit. The reason small businesses don't grow is, number one, is they see lead generation as icky. They don't like it. And because they don't like it, they don't try to do it a lot, and they don't master it, and they don't get better at it. And I know this really well because I went away to Fiji to a mastermind I'm a part of, and there was a whole bunch of like 6, 7, and 8-figure business owners. And I viscerally remember every time I spoke to a 6-figure business owner, especially a lower 6-figure business owner, and I mentioned lead generation and generating leads in general, and they always like turned the nose up and they like turned away and they're like, ugh, I don't like that. Ugh, leads, ads, I don't really like that thing. And then, but anytime I spoke to a 7 or 8-figure business owner, they'll be like, oh yeah, what metrics are you tracking? What are you doing? This is what's working really well for us. They're very passionate about it. And like the difference between these smaller and bigger businesses, like it's literally just the smaller businesses just have a lot of shame associated with lead generation. It's like they think it's icky and they don't like it. And because of that, you know, they're embarrassed what other people will think about them. And they have a lot of shame associated with it. And the thing that you have to overcome first in order to grow your business is you first need to be shameless. It's like you can't move to the next level unless you become shameless. Like seriously, it just doesn't work. And it's like no matter what you do, unless you're shameless, like if you look at any small business owner or anyone who ever started out and made something of themselves, it's always they sold themselves and marketed themselves like crazy. Like Stephen Bartlett, the guy who started Diary of a CEO, he sent like thousands of emails, of cold emails. That's how he started. Like he just put himself out there and he really reached out and like tried to chat to as many people as he could because he just shameless. He was like, man, if I'm going to look like a bit of an idiot, I'm going to do that if I'm going to become the person I want to be. And like, you have to do that. And so that's the first thing that you have to do. You have to be shameless. And if you're not willing to do that, you won't grow. It just won't happen. Like, and so that's the first thing that needs to happen. Then once you're shameless, there's just these two things holding you back. One is small business owners just don't spend enough time marketing and selling, just period. It's like, if you don't have clients, you shouldn't be building anything. The only thing you should be focusing on doing is generating more leads. Don't build anything ever, like nothing. Stop building spreadsheets or checklists for clients or anything like that. We had someone on our group coaching call the other day and she's like, oh, I'm thinking about like between running like a cohort versus an evergreen and I got to build these checklists for my clients. And I was like, you're struggling with income? Like, no. Throw that all in the bin. The one constraint right now is you don't have enough clients to make enough money, because when you have a lot of money, it gives you resources to be able to build better things for your clients, and you also spend more time with them so you actually know what they want. And the stuff that people, when they're first starting out, because they haven't worked with that many people, it sucks. And when I first started my business, the stuff that for the whole first year, pretty much all the things that I built, I don't use any of it right now. It was all a stepping stone to get where I am right now. And even then I look at the stuff now we create and I'm like, man, it could be so much better. It could be so much better when I look at everything. But like, that's just the problem. They just don't market enough. And then the second problem is because they don't do it enough, they're just not good. They're just not good. Like I see there's so many people, like in our program, someone will post something in school in the community platform and they'll be like, oh, I just sent like 10 messages. Can you review my messaging sequence? And it's like, no, It's like send messages for another 2 weeks and send hundreds of messages, then work it out and then come back to us with some of the variants that you've tried. Most people just like haven't done even enough testing to even know what good looks like. And then I haven't gotten good. But then what always happens is like, in business, I strongly believe, and this is a quote from Daniel Priestley, who's a very famous lead generation entrepreneur, just entrepreneur in general, right? But he just says everything is downstream from lead generation. What he means by that is like, if you solve the leads problem in your business, then everything else will work out. And I thoroughly believe that. Like right now, like we grew, we did about $160,000 last month, and so 2 months ago, and then the recent month that just passed, we did like $225,000 of revenue, and like, and I was sick for 2 weeks, which was crazy. But like the reason we were able to do that is because we just had so many leads, and we just tightened up all the things that we were already doing, and so like the thing is, right, is that people don't do it, and when you don't do something all the time, you don't really like it because you're not good at it, right? You just got to face the fear and just do it and become good and start to like it. And then when you like it, then you'll become obsessed, and then you want to try and master it. And then through mastery comes passion. Then you become passionate. I never thought I was going to be a LinkedIn lead guy, ever. I didn't like grow up at school thinking I was going to do this. Like it happened because I just kept doing it more and more, and I kept getting good at it. And I was like, man, I'm really good at this. I can help people to do this. Now I'm super passionate about it. Like there's a guy called Scott Galloway, who I really like listening to his stuff. And please, no one shit on him because like you're like, oh, his political opinion or whatever. It's just like who fucking like people that judge people based off like just because they have one opinion about one thing and they discredit everything else they've ever done. It's just idiocy. It's just so dumb. It's like one of my favorite authors, Derek Sivers, who actually had breakfast with him one time, like in person, such a legend, right? In his most recent book, he literally talks about how idiotic society is. Like it's called like Useful Not True, and he talks how idiotic society is just because like someone's done all this great work and then they say something that's bad and then you discredit everything. It's like, no, you can pick and choose certain things that people have done and be like, wow, that was smart. Like I'll take that element of what they did. I'm not going to maybe respect them as a person because they said something bad or they don't have a view that I have, but it doesn't mean that I don't think their work actually made an impact. Like it's just so stupid. I don't know how I even got onto that topic, but like, yeah, I just can't deal. But like Scott Galloway, as an example, like he was talking about how there's a guy who did the cement tabletop in his house. He's building a new house. Did a cement tabletop, and he said the guy is so passionate about like cement and like tabletops, and he loves it. And he said like this guy is just so passionate. He could tell through and through him. He's like, man, this guy loves it. Like, and the thing is, like, that guy didn't grow up thinking he's going to be passionate about like cement or sandstone or whatever it is, right? I can't remember if it's cement or sandstone. It doesn't matter, right? He became passionate about it because like this business that he built, I'm pretty sure Scott talks about how much money this guy made, but I'm pretty sure this guy took home like $500,000 a year. And like he became passionate because he got good at something that he was then able to, provide for his family and give them a really great life and send his kids to private school and like really feel like that kind of protected that person for his family. And he did it through like this cement or sandstone tabletops. And now he's passionate about it because passion comes through mastery of something. And like, like I love writing content now. I failed English at school. I hated English. I got 42 out of 100 in my final exam. 42, like pretty much failing, right? I hated it, but I love writing now. I like look forward to writing. Like my favorite Sunday morning is like waking up, taking Teddy to the park and like me writing content. I like love it. Like I want to write a book soon. Like it's just so, I love it so much, but like I hated it at school, like so bad. But then I started getting into content. I created it, got positive feedback loops, and I started loving it. And like the reason people don't generate enough revenue is just they don't market enough. But it's because they don't love it, because they don't pull away the shame that's associated with it or the judgment of other people, and they don't just pull this stuff away. Like I don't even think like I'm at all smart or like really good at what I do or anything. Like, I don't even think that. I just think I've just taken more action than other people. I look out there when I chat to people and I feel so inferior to like so many people that I speak to. But these people don't do anything. They just don't take action. It's like little things like last night. It's like there were mosquitoes like buzzing around in our room, right? And I'm like, fuck, I've got to get something to get rid of these mosquitoes. So first thing this morning, Amazon, order some electronic things to kill the mosquitoes. Just immediate action. Just don't think. But people just don't do that. They're like, I chat to so many like my friends and I'm like, hey, why don't you like do this thing? I've been thinking about it for 6 months. Like, what the fuck have you been thinking about? Like, what have you been thinking about? It's the same thing about lead generation. It's like, what are you thinking about? Just message more people. Like, that's the reason you're not growing, because like you're not good at it because you haven't sent so many messages. And it's just so sad because what people do is they look at the LinkedIn feed and they follow and they create content and they comment on other people's posts and all this kind of stuff, right? And then they just feel good. It makes them feel good, but it doesn't do anything. It's like, and you're avoiding the uncomfortable thing, and being successful as an entrepreneur and like being disciplined and all these things. It's like, there's this great quote, like, fear is the other side of success or something like that, right? The other side of fear is success or something like that. And it's like, being a good entrepreneur is like, you have to just do uncomfortable things all the time, things that you just don't want to do. Like as an entrepreneur, like the way I see my growth, right, is in the morning when I wake up, if there's stuff that I don't want to do and then I do it and I get through and I push it, like the first time I put out a YouTube video, I was like so scared. The first time I was doing a podcast, I was so scared. Now it's like so easy for me to do it. Like, takes 2 seconds. Or like the first time I set up all this camera equipment and gear, I'm like a non-techie, right? Like I'm becoming a techie, but like I've always been very intimidated by like tech and stuff like that. Now I've got like this sick tech setup, which I can do everything, right? And I set it all up myself, plugged it in, did everything. It's like, but I was scared about that before. It's like entrepreneurship is like all day you just have all these little fears like that are building up, and it's just because of these actions that you're just not taking, like all day long, literally all day long. And it's like, and like, it's the lead generation is like the epitome of this. It's like people just have shame associated with, they're embarrassed, right? They've got to first remove the shame. Then you just got to message people heaps. And then you've also just got to just get better. And like, you get better through training and stuff, but you get it through doing. Like, no one ever like thought about this app idea and then it just exploded overnight. It's like, this just doesn't happen. It's like, it happens through doing, and people they just avoid the hard work all the time. And I know what that feeling is like, because everyone has that feeling. Like, they just do. Like, there's always those things on their list that they know they got to do, and they just don't do it. And that's why I think so much of like coaching that we do, right, is like, it's also like mindset coaching, because like every small business owner has like a mindset problem. It's like, it's like you're having like this mindset stuff at the same time, and it's like really difficult. And that's why like it's like you always have to couple in mindset with what's going, like with generating leads. Cause like most of this lead generation blocks that people have is like, they just feel shame reaching out to someone. Anyways, guys, that's the topic of this episode. And that was a takeaway from that mastermind that I did. Hope you enjoyed it. If you give me a subscribe or a like, I'd really appreciate it. If not, catch you later.